Rebel D up, Columbian Arena. M4 carbine and a Bushmaster, SWAT mini K and a 6.56. This battery, you savage bastard, you gotta stifle. Now I got a commando assault rifle and a 50 caliber sniper rifle and a grenade launcher. Smith & Wesson 38 caliber revolver and a Mossberg. Hey sugar, you want an AK-47 or a Beretta Cougar or a Glock compact or a Remington? This Malcolm X Black Power Revolution is gonna be a ton of fun. I'm Aladdin and she's my Jasmine. Kentucky News, October 9th. Update on one of the stories was about they found some remains in a Corbin self-storage, and it turned out that the husband did kill it. The person that, the bones was inside the storage locker. Richard A. Wood killed his husband or his wife, right, in Corbin, Kentucky, home of the 1919 race riots, and also KFC. So, the Doris Wood was killed by Robert Wood, and nobody found out about it. He's age 59, died last year in an Alabama hospital. He owned a grocery store. He was working at a grocery store in Scottsboro, Alabama. So he got away with it 16 years ago. Robert Wood killed and murdered, mutilated Doris Ann Wood, and then he died. He lived to old age, so he got away with it. Bullitt County, they had training today. They were making all the building was closed, but it's important for young people to frame their minds that America is a police state. We're an empire, and part of being an empire is the same, bloody imperialistic oppression that we use on people overseas is just intensified here. Of course, with the Patriot Act, the NSA wiretapping and all that. So the war isn't just on, foreign enemies, it's also on our own citizens, which is apparent at Bullitt County, the high school. So at Bullitt County, or middle school, Eastside Middle School. So Bullitt County Sheriff's deputies, other law enforcement use the school for an active shooter training exercise. This is by Catherine Kington on wave3.com. So, there's a couple pictures, shows like some kids that look like dead bodies and shit. So it's like a routine thing in case there's a school shooting. What are the sheriff's deputies? What's the Bullitt County Sheriff's Department? What are they going to do? And they're getting, the school system's like a prison anyways. It's oppressive. It's all, some of the schools here in Louisville, they're more draconian with their policies. The number one is actually student driven, and so they're not, being forced to go here, go there, do this, do that, or else there's going to be violence, which is some bullshit. That's some fucking psycho shit, and some of the schools are like this. Seneca, I would say Seneca is like this. Seneca, I guess Butyl, right, but that's sort of the de facto prison for Louisville, for those that they cannot just get under control. So there's Butyl. But there's some other ones. Seneca is like that, and Wagner is like that. Wagner is like that too. And I would guess Shawnees looked like they was pretty much locked down. There's nobody out in the hall. So the oppression's what's killing everybody. The worst crimes throughout history has been through because of obedience. So the worst crimes in history, war, slavery, genocide, it was just because some asshole started barking orders at everybody else, and then everybody else just started doing what that fucking asshole did. And then you had, fucking 6 million Jews dead. Which is, that's no good. Stalin did some of the same tactics. He killed 40 million people. Mao Zedong, he killed 100 million people. Like the fucking crimes of some of these genocidal maniacs. If we're going to honor these psychos, then, what do you think about Attila the Hun? Is that a good fucking thing to have an empire just fucking taking over everybody and everything? That don't help us. It's not good. So, yeah, that's what they're getting used to in Bullitt County. They're at the middle school, the East Side Middle School. And they're also doing it here in Louisville, too, with Myers Middle School. Myers Middle School is being turned into a military cadet training to make them little soldiers, to make them ready to put on a helmet and go out and fight and die. Right? Just blind obedience. So it's actually going the opposite direction. America needs to be Americans again, but our education system teaches our children to be a bunch of submissive, obedient bitches, which is good for the industrial corporate model because they're going to have to get a job, so they're going to be someone's bitch eventually. So they just need to learn their place and be happy in their stations. There's some numbers here about the Democrat to Republican ratio. It says 1.6 million Democrats to 1.1 million Republicans. So there's more Democrats in Kentucky than there are Republicans. By a substantial margin. You only need 50, a little bit over 50% in order to get the elections going your way. So 1.6 million versus 1.1, that's remarkable. And there's tons of Democrats, a long Democratic history, like the last 60 years. Our governor's been a Democrat. Only one person interrupted that, but for 60-something years, it's almost virtually unbroken until in the 2000s. So we've been Democrats forever. Kentucky, you get a rich man to vote like that Alabama song, singing Song of the South. Daddy was a Democrat. Something about a rich man vote like that. So, another thing that happened, Sarah Eisenmenger, Wave3.com story, man shot in the face. There's another story that has no names of the police, no names of the victim, none of what happened, anything. It's just, Metro Safe said the shooting was reported at 11:12 p.m. Tuesday near the intersection of 6 Mile Lane and Breckenridge Lane in Louisville. When police arrived on the scene, officers discovered a man in his 20s, been shot in the eye, but his conscience. So it's weird. How do you get shot in the face? He got shot in the eye and he was still alive. And this happened yesterday, last night, and then they updated it last night. And they updated it at midnight, just after midnight of today. So no suspect information has been released. Anyone with the information is asked to call the LMPD. They don't tell you anything. That's nothing. This is nothing. It was near the intersection of 6 Mile Lane and Breckenridge Lane in Louisville. They're investigating the area where the victim was found. There's a man in his 20s been shot in the eye. They tell us nothing. He was taken to the University of Louisville Hospital. So the only thing we know is where the victim is. So if the person is, still out there, then they can just tell them that, they know exactly where the dude's at. Stupid. Damn. Have I been all the way on the bottom of this the whole time? Well, shit. Something recently in Kentucky now is going on is there's no handshakes at the end of the sports games. Whenever you have a basketball, football game, rugby, whatever, wrestling, you always have the students shake hands so that there's, a good sportsmanship. But now KHSAA is telling them to eliminate post-game handshakes. It's saying that there's too many conflicts that happens with the post-game handshake, so they don't want to force to do it anymore. They're trying to say that the sports requires you to be aggressive, and so it's, there's always something that happens whenever people are shaking each other's hands. Which I think is a good policy, to be honest with you. I hated that, I remember Coach Highfield, he seemed to be fucking proud of the fucking handshake thing, but you should feel some, I guess a little bit shame for losing, and especially if you didn't try your hardest. But I don't know. It shows good sportsmanship. So I felt like people from other counties were like me instead of my bitter Hunger Game enemies. So it humanized them. I don't know if that was the same way they interpret it with me, but that's how I interpret it. So yeah, the KHSAA, the Kentucky High School Athletic Association, says no more. So you can't do it. It's like illegal. It says no longer. It's no longer sanctioned. So I guess it doesn't. It's not like fucking draconian. I don't know. Can Kentucky High School Athletic Association force some policy like that? Can they do high fives? I mean, the post game handshakes. It wasn't even handshakes. It was just high fives. Everybody lines up and just gets high fives. You know, it wasn't handshakes. So something going on here with dude, lawyer accused of disability scheme. So this lawyer was getting everybody on disability, and now you have the fucking feds, the staff. Let's see, the report by the staff of the Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee. So fucking Homeland Security, motherfucking the Senate committee. So this is the fucking legislators that are doing this shit. Hmm. So that's there's a Kentucky to implement science standards despite legislative opposition. I do like how Steve Beshear has been. He's been like a dictator sometimes, and just whenever he wants something, he's like, "Nope, this is how it is. It's just the way it's gonna be." I mean, don't be fucking stupid about shit. Don't be fucking stupid. Are you kidding me? The science standards, they want to stop them because it doesn't have enough talk about God and the dinosaurs or an evolution or how it was all Christian. It was Jesus or I don't know, science. Kool-Aid. Go buy some Kool-Aid today. So you have a vote of 5-1. State's Administrative Regulation Review Subcommittee yesterday rejected the standards as crafted. The Next Generation Science Standards, developed by a coalition of 26 states, including Kentucky. Several national organizations previously won unanimous support from the Kentucky State Board of Education. Governor Beshear fully supports the science standards adopted by the Kentucky Board of Education. Is disappointed that the subcommittee did not approve them today. So, there's science. Watch out, it's fucking science. Yeah, kiss my fucking ass. Beshear's been he's on fire. He's standing up for this healthcare thing. He's implementing these science standards. There's been a couple other things. He just kind of says, "Hey, this is just how it's going to be, and this is the way I run my state. What's anybody going to do?" And nobody challenges it. So it almost seems that he's got virtual the Senate right and Republicans right now trying to pull some shit, saying that he doesn't have the fucking legal authority to implement Obamacare. But fuck them. They what a bunch of dicks. They're on the wrong fucking side of history and they're operating too late. It's already up and at 'em. You know, you're gonna fucking undo the shit. Like fuck you. Um. So the Steve Beshear, rock on.